Maybe like for a doll. You could put it on a doll. Like an American Girl doll.
Is it like a biohazard suit?
Ooh, yeah, it's like for Hanford.
It's like
the Hanford American Girl doll. That's a concept.
And she's got a pet bunny.
She has a bunny that glows. All of her accessories glow in the dark.
Oh my god, kids would love that.
It's like Hanford, like what she needs a name. Hanford Holly. Hi, this is Caitlin.
And this is Sharon.
And welcome to Real Housewives on Real Housewives, where we unravel housewives' story threads and keep the tea flowing.
So chic.
Hold on to your family.
This week we're digging into Rachel Fuda of Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 13.
So our verses this week will be Rachel versus Danielle and Rachel versus Louis and Bo Dietl. Which every time it sounds like a fairy tale character,
yes.
like in a poem. We'll try to say that name without laughing, but it may never happen this whole thing. Okay, Rachel Fuda is a businesswoman. She works full-time for Ballet King and works part-time with Fuda Tile, who we learned tiled the Gorga house in the reunion. So that's cool. When she started this show, she's kind of my hero because she had a 7-week-old baby at the start. I mean, that baby looked little, but 7 weeks
That
was
is
teeny tiny.
I just can't even imagine how she did that.
And she had to get into clothes and be dressed up for things. I mean, can you imagine? Like,
she must have snapped right back.
I think it was like 3 months before I put jeans on.
Like, exactly.
And I love jeans. Okay, Marge called her a glamorous Tim Burton character.
Which is really the best description of her that I've heard.
Yes, I think that's one of the reasons I like her. Like, she's just such a colorful character. Okay, so her connections to the show, since this is her first season, she and Melissa's son were best friends. And she was also trained in bodybuilding by Frank Catania and trained with his now girlfriend, Brittany.
Yeah, and you can see the pictures. It's like crazy.
She was crazy.
She was one of those fitness
It doesn't,
people.
I mean, it's not that it doesn't look like her, but it's almost surprising in a way because she's kind of a humble, quiet person on the show. And so, like, I guess to see her in that role is a little different than what I'd picture in my head. All right, so this is her first season. She's a new housewife. Should we rank how her first season went?
Yeah, I think it went pretty good. I think we'll talk about her and Danielle later. But I think for the most part, she showed herself well. And she got into some feuds, but nothing that she can't come back from.
Yes, yeah. She didn't work herself into a corner.
She didn't burn a bridge.
She did not burn a bridge. I like her because I think she's really smart and she's calm. And she does sort of think most of the time before she speaks. Unlike, let's say, Danielle, just for a comparison.
On the other hand, I could maybe see her being a little calculated.
Yes.
Where I couldn't see Danielle be calculated. I think she just says what she thinks.
Yes, I do feel like maybe Rachel knew how to play the game a little bit better. Like, I don't like thinking of it as a game, but I think she played the game better than Danielle played the game. What do we think of her nose?
Okay. This is all I want to talk about.
I know.
Okay, so she had a nose job. She acknowledges that. And then Jennifer Aiden makes it sound like her nose job was like bad and she knew it.
Let's talk about our bad nose jobs.
And
I was like, her
really
nose is
mean.
It's really mean.
But is that how she wanted her nose to look?
I think her nose looks great. I don't see the problem.
It's unique.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with her nose. No. It's just different.
I mean, maybe at one point she'd said this wasn't, or it didn't heal the way. I know sometimes it doesn't heal the way people think it will heal. Also, okay, can we talk about, and I think you and I talked about this. Why is no one using Jennifer Aiden's husband for their nose jobs?
Because this is why. Caitlin and I went to his website and they had a specials tab that had like a little drawing of a piggy bank with like dollar signs.
It was a coupon.
It was like, I am not going to a plastic surgeon that has like a coupon.
So she needs to like print it out at home. And
yeah.
So do you think maybe he's a good surgeon but a really bad web designer?
Oh,
but I still don't understand why he's this big deal plastic surgeon. It seems like no one's using him for anything.
Yeah.
Because that's not true in Beverly Hills. A lot of people be like, there's those 2 plastic surgeons there and people are always using them.
Yeah. I do find it a little odd.
Everyone's like, well, he's just in the pool house.
Maybe because
he's not going to that guy.
Maybe it's not that big a deal because maybe in New York are
maybe
like the real deal guys.
Yeah. And maybe he like has some sort of policy where he doesn't want to work on people on the show. Like maybe he doesn't want something to go.
Yeah, right.
Now every plastic surgeon I've known is
you want to work on people because then you're like, hey, I did her.
Yeah, it's an advertisement.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get it. I find that really weird. There's something suspicious there going on, I think.
Yes.
All right, let's talk about our first versus, which is Rachel versus Danielle. So this is their big issue of the season. So Danielle and Rachel are out shopping for the luau party at Melissa's shore house. Also, everybody has a shore house, and I want a shore house really badly.
I know.
I mean, we don't really have a shore, but still, our shore. Like, I want our version of a shore.
Yeah, we have well, there's a river.
Yeah, river house doesn't have the same
connotation.
Okay, so they're out shopping. They're glad, like at first I feel like they're going to have this really good friendship because they're saying like they're so glad they have each other to figure it out. And you do think it's like they're the freshman class of the season. It's both of their first years. And they're like, maybe we can navigate this together. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm really excited about that at first because I liked both of them a lot at the beginning. So, but then Danielle kind of gets to talking and she says basically that Marge is locked and loaded with info on the ladies. She uses the word arsenal.
But she says, hey, Teresa and Jennifer told me that Marge is like, and then Rachel's kind of like, well, you should get to know people for. Yeah. But, okay, I think Rachel went way over the line.
In how she explained it. Yeah. Yes. I think she made it out to be worse because even Marge said at the reunion when she watched it back, it didn't look as bad. Now, I don't think she did it to cause a problem. Do you?
No, I think she was just. They're both new. Right. And she's saying, like, this is what I'm learning about this group. Mm-hmm. Exactly. I almost think it would have been weirder if she hadn't said it.
I agree. Because I think, like she was saying, too, this lady's kind of made herself to be my friend. Yeah. And if you've learned anything from watching it, if you sit on the information, obviously you've got cameras on you. It's not like, I think you can't expect that people will keep that secret ever on a reality show that's being recorded. At some point, someone's going to know that you knew it.
Well, sometimes like when you're making a friend, it's like there's this test. There's ultimately comes this line where you trust them and you tell them something and then like if they screw you over like here, you're like, okay, I can't trust you. Yeah. Versus if they were really friends and they really had this connection, I kind of feel like Rachel wouldn't have, no matter what, I say it straight, blah, blah. I think she would have kept her mouth shut. Yeah. Because friends tell friends stuff.
Oh, absolutely. And you don't expect that everyone's going to run right to a person. I mean, I think it was Marge who kind of said like, but that's what we do on this show. Like we all tell each other everything. Mm-hmm. So I think maybe the confusion is that like Danielle thought it was a real friendship. And like she didn't understand. She didn't understand like TV friendship. Yeah. Okay. So
poor Danielle.
I feel bad because Danielle kept calling it coffee talk.
Coffee talk, which I just love.
And so are we supposed to know the rules of coffee talk?
I don't know.
Because we only know like the SNL Mike Myers sketch of it. But it seems to me like it's like Fight Club. Like what happens at coffee talk stays at coffee talk.
It does.
I guess I understand what she's saying.
She's saying it was us being girlfriends just kicking back. Mm-hmm.
And maybe that she was kind of like trying to give her a heads up in a way.
I think she was just like, I think she was saying, we're friends, so I share information with you. Mm-hmm. And it just bit her in the butt.
Yeah, I think
that's
totally
what Danielle was saying. But I feel like since we're from the Pacific Northwest, shouldn't it really be coffee talk? Shouldn't be our thing?
Oh, that should be our thing.
It's just because we don't say
half of the things we talk about are legitimately over coffee.
Related.
Not like browsing.
Coffee and talk over coffee.
Both. Like we're not browsing, like just looking at luau clothes. We're like drinking coffee and looking at luau clothes. Okay, is our podcast coffee talk?
I guess because I tell you what I think.
That's true.
But then everyone else hears,
but see, it
goes out to the rest of the...
See, that's what I'm saying. When you record coffee talk, you have a problem. Okay, the other talk is the rat talk.
Oh, God, the rat talk.
Yeah, ratatouille
this almost kind of scared me a little bit. We're like, you don't call anyone a rat. I was like,
does
oh my God, okay, I'll never say that word again.
It feels like a real Jersey threat
Yes, it does.
Whereas over here, someone's like, you rat. I'd be like, that's kind of rude.
Feels like someone might like bust your kneecaps.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It does seem like it carries a heavier weight. So like Danielle tells the other women that Rachel's a rat because she spilled the coffee on Marge's arsenal. I'm going to keep saying coffee like that.
And we're going to get could have said
Jersey, you're going to be like, that's not how we say it.
If she didn't, why did she say it in such a way that it did make Danielle look bad? Why didn't she just say, hey, she told me she heard this?
Yeah, that's true.
Why?
Why did she make it sound like Danielle was spreading that rumor to more people possibly too?
Do you think that was intentional or you think it wasn't?
I don't think it was.
Really?
Because I think
I
think the problem is that it's like when it's your first season, you're both kind of like grappling to find your place.
Okay.
So it's like I think they both feel like they have to take information to like the other people a little bit.
Yeah.
And you do know it's going to get out. So it's like I think she was waiting. Like, so she knew that Teresa and Danielle were kind of friends, and Danielle is spilling this to her. Mm-hmm. Did she wonder if it was a test as to whether or not she took it back or didn't take it back? And if she kept it, does that mean she's like team them and she wanted to be team the other people? I don't know. Okay, do you think their fight is really just because they're being forced to take sides on the New Jersey arguments that already exist? Like, Andy says at the reunion, like, you guys, let this go. This is the dumbest fight, which really is funny that he really steps in because sometimes I think he kind of lets it go.
Yeah.
But this time he was like, let it. I mean, like, drop it, guys. This is dumb. I'm not talking about this again. But I kind of feel like there's so much, like, Jersey's even more pick a side, pick a side, pick a side. Like, even we felt at the beginning of this podcast that we had to say whether we're Team Teresa or Team Melissa. Like, that is the premise of the show, is to kind of pick a side.
Yes.
So I feel like their fight just comes out of the fact that they kind of want to be friends, but they can't because they're both picking different sides.
And also they're both new. So they're both, you've got to be at least a little competitive to be like, okay, I've got to be the
what if one of us
better new housewife.
Yeah.
I want to be the cool new housewife. I don't want to be the lame new housewife.
Exactly.
So I do think there's that.
And I feel bad for Danielle because I think she's just so much hotter, like under the collar, and Rachel's so much more calm and reserved. So when Rachel says it back, it sounds like, oh, look at how calm she is.
Yeah.
And then Danielle's like blowing, her cap, and it makes her come in looking worse.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of rough for her.
Agree.
I don't know. What was interesting was that Danielle said she was kind of shocked about the stuff when she watched it, but then Marge kind of said she wasn't as shocked by the stuff when she watched it, which I thought was interesting. And then, okay, here's what I don't like, though. I do feel like Rachel tries to build a bridge. Like, she says, you're a great mom. Like, there was stuff she said to Danielle, like, she gave compliments to her. And then Danielle turned around and I wanted her to say back to Rachel, like, you're a good mom, too, and I think you're really fun. And instead she was just like, well, it's basically not my fault. Like, Danielle has a little bit of trouble taking responsibility.
But, okay, I just have a problem with this because what does being a good mom have to do with any of this?
That's what everybody seems to say on this show. Like, I don't like anything about you, but you're a good mom.
Yeah. Like, I could see her being like, I can tell you have a good heart.
Yes.
Like a bachelor speak.
Or even when they kind of said you'd be a fun friend.
Yeah. I know we could really get along.
You're a great mom.
Like, what?
Okay.
I'd be like, okay, tell my kids that.
Yeah, right. So you can get them on that side. Okay, do we think that Rachel overreacted more or Danielle overreacted more?
I think Rachel is the cause of the problem. Okay. I think she overreacted in how she transmitted the information. Yeah. And then I just think Danielle did what Danielle does. And Danielle is like loud and out there. And that's what I really like about her too.
Part of me feels too like Marge was the one who overreacted. Because Rachel probably shouldn't have said it. But again, she went from coffee talk to a different coffee talk and she spilled it. And she probably shouldn't have said the whole Arsenal thing. But then you saw Marge just get whipped up. Like immediately. And again, she didn't know that it wasn't as big of a deal.
Why did Marge get so whipped up?
I don't know.
Louis is sitting there bragging that he has an arsenal.
Exactly.
Like, I have an arsenal against all you guys. And then Marge is accused. She's like, I have an arsenal.
Marge is probably like, I can't get Bo Dietl now.
I know.
Okay, you know what I loved, though? I loved Rachel's, like, post-season script, where it was like she'd officially adopted Jaden, and to celebrate, the family took a trip to Disney World to hang out with her favorite rat, Mickey Mouse. Like, I felt like they were tongue-in-cheek about it. So I think we both would agree. There is a coming back from this for them.
Yeah.
But I do think they'll be suspicious of each other.
I do. I think Danielle will be more suspicious of Rachel than vice versa.
Exactly. But I kind of feel like after she sees, and again, this is a different episode, but I feel like after she sees kind of how Teresa and Jennifer maybe used her, she might be a little more receptive to the other side.
Danielle?
Yeah. But I don't know.
I don't know. Do you think Marge has an arsenal?
Oh, that's a really good question.
I think she might have like a
kind
shed.
Of do. Yeah.
I don't know if she has like a
I kind of do,
bunker,
but I don't know that she necessarily intends to use it on everybody, but I do think she knows stuff. I think she just seems like the kind of person who, like, if she hears something, she asks about it and finds out about it. I don't know that she's like it's an armed arsenal. Like, I think she knows stuff and people tell her stuff and she probably hangs on to it.
I think so too. I don't think
I feel like she'd be the kind of person to be like, oh yeah, I already heard that about somebody. Like, I've heard that rumor. But like, that doesn't necessarily mean she's going to use that rumor.
I could see that.
But I think she likes to know stuff.
I agree.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if she has new stuff.
Yeah. I'm just not sure her arsenal is as big of a problem as everybody thinks it is.
Yeah, like she's not aiming it at people.
Right.
She's not
starting
people.
World War III. That's the Gorga and Giudice.
Yes, exactly.
Or Giudice. I can never say that name right.
Giudice.
All right, so I guess who wins on that? I think Rachel.
I think Danielle.
Oh,
I know.
I
think everyone else, I think Rachel would probably be the popular choice because Danielle just kind of like.
I just wish Danielle could have like calmed herself down a little bit.
Yes.
She got crazy.
Danielle technically repeated the rumor.
Yeah.
So I guess technically she's at fault, but I think Rachel did kind of.
You think she has more responsibility to the blame than Danielle does?
I think Rachel did it to advance her, not to have anything to do with Marge or Arsenals.
Sometimes I think she's just completely like calm. Sometimes I think she is thinking it through a little bit, and I can't decide.
And I really like Rachel. I like her a lot.
Too.
And here's the thing: 7 weeks after giving birth, I was probably totally crazy. I probably would have
nuts. Yeah,
done all kinds of wacky
stuff.
Yeah,
exactly. Here's the thing. I would have told that rumor and then forgotten that I told it because I would have been so sleep depressed. I would have been like, who said that? Oh, me? It was me. That's what would have happened to me. Okay, let's do Rachel versus Louis / Bo Dietl. So this all comes up at the reunion. So during this season, Rachel wanted to adopt John's son from a previous relationship, Jaden. She'd been his stepmom for a long time. They'd been advised like earlier on in their relationship not to do it, something with the courts and I don't know. But anyway, she really wanted to do it. And I think what's sweet is you can see how much Jaden wanted. She asked him and like she said, I'll stop if this is too much, if you don't want me to. And he was just like, yeah.
I want it. He said, I wanted it.
It made me want to cry. And like they said that when they first got married, he didn't understand that didn't automatically make her his mom. And he was sad. I mean, like, it's a sweet story. And I don't like when people said that. There were some people who said online and stuff that she did it for a storyline on the show.
I don't think so. You could tell from him.
And Dolores said, no, she said this for years. Now, could they have kind of used the fame to get the process pushed through after they've been told no for years? Maybe. But that's a smart use of your fame. I mean, I feel like to get something that you want.
And I don't understand. I rarely question a housewife's love for their children.
I agree. I think that's off. That's off. What do they always say?
It's off limits.
The table. Yeah. Off limits. Okay, so at the reunion, we find out the adoption's finalized. Jaden's birth mom spoke to the blogs, and I actually saw some of that before we started watching the season, and I was kind of like, what's up with that? Because she was kind of...
Oh, what did she say?
Well, she kind of said, like, it was used for a storyline, and, like, and she, like, didn't have any say in it. I don't know. There's some things there, because she was in jail. Dolores said that Jaden, had mentioned them adopting a year. So the birth mom saying it was a storyline, I think, again, is just whatever, mute point. But... But Rachel says, okay, well, the only reason the birth mom was coming up in these media stories is that Louis contacted her because Louis had info on what prison she was in. And she was told this by someone close to her, someone not on the cast, which I can't quite speculate who that would be.
Bo Dietl?
Yeah. Maybe he told them when they were eating. Remember, because she said that she and Melissa went out to dinner and he was at the table right next to them. And what are the odds of that? But so Rachel says, like, again, you were yelling about Bo Dietl. Melissa and I had this meal and he was at a table near us. What is it? Teresa says something like, well, if you have money, you can just hire people to get the info. And like, well, how does that help you to say that?
Yeah. Like Bo Dietl.
Right. Like, and it's John Fuda who basically, he's got the receipts. Like, he has a folder of evidence in his hands.
And you can tell he was serious.
And you can tell he was
like,
mad.
you can tell he's not messing around.
No, and you don't mess with somebody's kid.
Yeah.
Like, pull up anything else you want on them. Like, anything they've done in their past. But, like, don't pull up the son. So he said, like, why did you have me investigated? And Louis says, well, I never had you investigated. And John's like, well, Bo Dietl's friends are subcontractors of mine. Maybe that's the person who wrote off the show. So they know. And again, there is no benefit that I can see from Rachel and John bringing this up. Like, again, they'd like to be done. They've adopted it. Done. Yeah. I mean, and they've said all along, we don't want to deal with the birth mom. It's complicated. It's messy. But so again, it's like, why?
I don't think they did it for because if they really wanted to sensationalize it, they could have been like, she's in prison, or
there's a lot of things they could have taken the mom down for.
Right?
Personally.
They just were like, no, I want to adopt him,
and I just think it's too suspicious. Marge had someone reach out, and then this happens to John and Rachel. And again, Louis just keeps trying to go, well, I don't know where people got, like, you were screaming about Bo Dietl at the finale.
But he says that he plays dumb, but then he still does the you wait kind of stuff.
I know. Yeah, what is that? That was real threatening.
Yeah.
Because he really threatened Joe, like Gorga, like he had information on him. I also liked when he said, well, I just said that in anger. And even Andy's like, you talked about it the next day.
That was awesome,
and I was like, yes, he did. Like, thank you for pointing that out.
He was still mad, Caitlin.
He was still. So who do we believe? Obviously, we believe the Fudas. Yeah. It's just another thing. It's another
Louis being crazy.
Exactly. It's like, I would love to give Louis the benefit of the doubt, but all this stuff is super weird.
And this is extra weird to me. Because it's like,
weird.
I might look at people cheating on their spouses or this or that, but not like an adoption. I don't know.
Who's calling a prison to get information? Yeah. I mean, what the heck is going on with that? That is weird.
I don't know.
Well, then I don't like, so then Louis goes over, again, it's like what we were just talking about. You're a good mom. Like, what is that? That is like maybe a Jersey thing.
I think it's,
again,
you don't know what else to say.
Family thing again, I guess.
Because I guess most people are probably good moms to their kids. So
it's like saying you look nice. You look nice. You're a good mom.
Yeah.
We'll just say that to each other sometimes. But so Louis goes over to John. Rachel's like, you're a beautiful mother. I never investigated you. And John's like, okay, if you want to be my friend, just admit that you did it. Yeah. Like, I have proof. Like, and it was a big folder. It was kind of like that one Lisa Rinna had, like that big folder. And Louis like, I can't do that. And then John's like, well, then own it. Like, don't con me. I liked when he said that because it's kind of like, yeah, that's what this feels like. I don't know. Because it's not even like Louis just like, well, where did you get this? Oh, it was so weird.
Yes, exactly. Like, let me see what you have.
Yeah. And he doesn't ask.
What did people tell you?
Or like with the Marge thing, and he was like, well, yeah, that's my phone number.
Yeah.
Okay. Like anywhere else that means something. Like, I don't understand how he can, it's like he looks at the stuff and it's like he just wants to look at you with his scary eyes.
Yeah.
And have you be like,
well,
these are not the droids you're looking for.
And like, he's like, if he doubles down, you will believe it.
Exactly.
Because why else would I just say the exact opposite thing?
Exactly.
No one normal
no one would ever do that. It's like, it's like arguing with a toddler.
Yeah. When you see them do something, no, I didn't. Yes,
did you do that?
Saw you.
No. And then the eyes like, it's like maybe he doesn't think, maybe he's not Zen. Like maybe he thinks he's like a hypnotist.
Ooh,
like he can be like, you do believe me, right?
I could see him believing that. Like he can bend spoons with his mind.
He's like at home.
Bend spoons.
Practicing. All right, so that's pretty much our wrap up on John and Rachel. So I liked them for a first season.
I do too. By the way, I really like them. I was a little hard on her, but I really like them.
I will be interesting to see where their storyline goes. I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure where her allegiances will go next season. I'm not quite sure what group she'll necessarily show up with. I'm not quite sure if she and Danielle can repair. I don't know. It'll be interesting, I think, to see.
Yeah.
Whether they have another kid or not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I guess she can do it really easily.
Yeah,
Man, if she was there 7 weeks later.
I guess she's more chill.
Maybe for her, it's not a big deal.
I mean, like, give me 5 years. Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. Well, remember, Housewives bring the drama.
But we bring the receipts.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to help support us, please share it with others and leave a rating and review. Also, visit us on Instagram and Twitter, both at RH_on_RH for fun pictures and polls, or email us at rhonrhpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks again, and remember to stay out of the shade.